Picture this. The year is 2009. Little 5-year-old me goes onto the Thomas and Friends website to play some great Discovery games. All of a sudden, on the homepage, I saw a video that caught me off guard. Little did I know that it was the trailer for the greatest Thomas movie ever.
See and hear Thomas like never before in his biggest movie ever, Hero of the Rails, the movie.
I found the oldest engine on Sodor.
It's a story of adventure and new friends.
We must help Hero at once.
In an all-new movie like you've never seen before.
You've come to the right place, my friend.
Thomas and Friends, Hero of the Rails, the movie, now available only on
Hero of the Rails. The first Thomas production in full CGI and the fourth special. Let's just let that sink in. Fourth. We only got 3 model special / movies. 3. And they're all pretty mediocre. So then the people at Hit Entertainment were like, you know the models, right? Pretty fucking old. Let's just go full CGI and really use it to our full potential. Just for this special. And guess what? Hit cooked and served a smorgasbord of a special, and I'm going to simp over it. Full disclosure, everything I talk about is of course my personal opinion. So let's dive in and find out why Hero of the Rails is my favorite Thomas special. Now, everyone in the fandom has definitely put in their 2 cents about the animation of the Nitrogen era, and how crappy it was. But for the time period, it's actually pretty good. Everyone will complain about the bland grass textures and how the backgrounds look very empty and boring, especially the main line. But then you get shots like this. I think in terms of animation, the sunrise shots are the strong suits of this special. That's not to say the rest of the movie is visually unappealing, but admittedly, it has not aged well. I'd say for anyone who highly analyzes CG movies, the dawn shots in this movie are what are going to appeal to those people the most. But the animation isn't what I admire the most in the production quality. It's the audio. The sound design of this movie is fucking bone-chilling. The highlight of this is definitely when Thomas and Spencer begin their contest. I'm going to let this scene play out, and I want you to listen closely to just how powerful these engines sound.
The tracks were cleared for Spencer and Thomas, and both engines were coupled up to their heavy loads. Edward puffed forward.
You will each take different tracks round the island. You may only stop for coal and water.
Then Edward whistled long and hard. The contest had begun. Spencer and Thomas pumped their pistons. Thomas puffed off with a heave and a huff.
Holy shit. Everything in this scene is perfect. Edward's shadow slowly appearing, his whistle coated in reverb, and the wheeshing and puffing of Thomas and Spencer make this such a memorable scene. Another scene I have to mention in terms of sound design is the Thomas, Spencer, and Hero chase, with Hero's parts gradually falling apart on top of the booming engine sounds.
And splutter. Hero's new lamp broke loose and hit.
I think everyone will agree that Spencer is the best part of this movie. And by the way, I'm going by the US dub. That doesn't mean Matt Wilkinson's performance in the UK dub is all bad. In fact, I quite like it. But some scenes are definitely better delivered than others in comparison.
So, there you are, Thomas. Broken down, I see. 7 flatbeds must have just been too heavy.
Glenn Rage's performance is just so entertaining, and he really helps bring Spencer to life. The animation also complements Spencer well because it mirrors the kind of character he is. He's supposed to be this sneaky, scheming guy who's always spying on Thomas, hiding in the shadows, and he's animated like a snake slithering along the line, also hanging around in the shadows. It really demonstrates Spencer's sneaky and devious attitude in this storyline, something that the show hadn't done before this, or really since. Spencer is usually pictured as a snooty type who thinks he's far above the Sodor engines. He's kind of like a foil to characters like Thomas and Gordon. And while yes, that side of him is still fairly present here, I think having him take on this villain stance was an experiment done well. It's a nice deviation from the status quo. I also like how they slid in some of the Gordon and Spencer rivalry. Overall, I'd say Spencer was handled very well in this special. The scene where he and Gordon race to Maithwaite is another scene I and many others love. The Duke scolding Spencer has been memed so many times, but it's actually a genuinely funny moment. It's one of those jokes that doesn't get old.
Our friend Sir Topham Hatt says you spend all day watching Thomas.
And taking mail cars.
I feel like Thomas and the other main characters have a stigma of always being rude or butting heads with each other. And while it's a part of what makes these characters, and by extension the universe they live in, so unique, I feel as though we don't get many scenes where the characters just slow down and all stand together on something. The classic series didn't really do this at all.
That's why I like it, especially when you're there and not here saying I'm silly. Good night.
And the hit era had a habit of making everything overly mushy.
Why didn't you tell me, Thomas? I tell you everything.
In this movie, I think there's a healthy balance of supportive friend interactions and playful banter. But when there are moments where the characters banter, it really does feel like leftover insults from Season 5.
It looks like you're too old now to be really useful, Toby.
Call yourself a car? You're a disgrace to the road. Find yourself a scrapyard.
Not all the main characters play a main or pivotal role in the movie. It's really more of a group appearance since the main focus is supposed to be on Thomas, Hero, and Spencer. That being said, there are great character moments. The scene where Emily absolutely denies Spencer of any information at the junction is pretty amusing.
Why is Thomas puffing around the summer house?
I don't know. Thomas is a busy engine. He chuffs all over the island.
And Mavis showing Spencer around the quarry is just brilliant. James and Toby guarding Hero was pretty cool to see. That scene is absolutely gold. We even got some Tobias action there. And to top it off, you have Carrie Shaw, Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas.
What are you doing?
Mr. Bubbles, the very important bubble liquid is still missing. The mail cars are stacked up at the docks, and you're not working
On my birthday.
What is
Nobody's really out of character here, and I guess that's all you can really ask for in a show about talking trains. It's not a stretch to say that most of the Thomas movies are pretty bad, and this era of the show is kind of a blur to a lot of people. But it's nice to see that there were indeed times when the show was made by people who did care. This movie has all the hallmarks of what made Thomas so special. Genuine characters, cool sound design, humor, and a sense of groundedness. I love this movie so much. I wonder who wrote it. What the fuck?